Hey, RetconRaider here, with special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Dragon Matrix 7, Mathew Smith, Revenant, Alois, ZeriV23, EgonAlter, Emile, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, Kazorm, Nathan Welch Jr., RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. As today we start setting the stage for our eventual raid on the Ivory Sanctum, the Castle in the Clouds. But before we get to that, we do have a number of other things we have to take care of. Starting with the nap, which, after our time in Blackwater, I feel like we have thoroughly earned.
See, I look at you and I think maybe my old granddaddy was an incubus, some distant relation of yours. Both our horns are similar enough, we both have dark hair, you're a succubus, and I'm also as handsome as they come.
You're looking for similarities with demons, but I like that you look more like a human than one of us.
Yeah, I guess they do have two very different outlooks. And no diplomacy meeting. Right, I guess the full day hasn't passed yet. Okay, well, fair enough. I had budgeted time for that, but we'll just save it for the next time we're back in Dresden. We've got a couple of other things to keep ourselves busy with anyway. Starting with a coronation. Empty mugs are lined up in the table in front of Thaberdine, like knights on parade. He's singing a song off-key, but with great emotion as he drinks his beer. The motley crowd that is gathered around him sings along, and a chubby pig sits at his feet, oinking in time to the tune. Right, just like last time. Oh, Commander! Nice of you to stop by. Sit down and have a drink with us. It's my treat. How are you? Are you going to liberate the City of Eyes soon? That I am, but you know, I thought we'd take care of some formalities first. Not much point in retaking the throne if we don't have a king ready to sit on it. You ready to get yourself crowned? Right, now you're talking. I said it was about time. Thaberdine climbs up on the table, which groans and creaks under his weight. My friends, Sarkarus has long been suffering under demonic oppression, without a lawful king. But the king has returned. If some of you don't know, I'm Thaberdine Quintissimus Hierophantal I. Huzzah for me! Don't just stand there. Go on. Clap. All of Thaberdine's friends and the tavern regulars begin to applaud and yell out toasts. The king raises his hands over his head triumphantly. Thank you, my dears. When I regain my throne, I won't forget you. And now... Thaberdine turns to you. Let's hear it for our dear commander, the hero who took Dresden back from the demons, and who will soon take back Eyes and all the rest of Sarkarus. Everything will be taken back. I think he has earned the honor of putting the crown on my royal head. He hands you the coronet and lowers his head of greasy, graying hair. Interesting. You know, I am tempted to push things a bit, but we really shouldn't. We don't know just how expansive our powers are just yet. Obviously, we can manipulate reality to a certain degree, but we should really just stick with Sarkarus for now. Finally, my dream has come true. You put the crown on Thaberdine's head, and with a groan, he proudly straightens back up. Hail, Sarkarus! Rejoice even! The king has returned! Huzzah! The whole tavern greets the king with cheers and toasts. Oh, okay, and I guess that's that. We'll have to wait to see what unfolds. Though, I suppose we could poke at it a bit. The golden crown looks strange, perched above Thaberdine's bloated, unshaven face. But he doesn't seem to care. He takes a swig from his mug as he sings a song. A raucous choir of his attendants sings along, and the chubby pig sits at his feet, winking in time to the tune. And in the morning, they'll take her to the scaffold. Different song, but same tune. Right, so nothing really new here. Go forth to new feats. Here's to you, Commander. Thaberdine salutes you with a mug, and takes a drink. Yes, so I guess we will come back to that later. That may very well be something that doesn't really reach fruition until much later in the game, I guess. We are only halfway through. Alright, so I did budget time for Lady Kiyomi and her diplomacy council, but given that she was a no-show today, I guess we will do something else instead. Thankfully, I happen to know that the Storyteller is 1 page away from his next story segment, so we'll just do that instead. Not sure how long that'll run us, but I'm hoping it'll be about 10-15 minutes. The blind elf whispers something under his breath. Hearing you, he turns to you slowly. Greetings, Vex. Have you brought me a new story? Well, sort of. You know, I found this page tucked away in a Sarkorian puzzle vault, so I thought you might be interested in seeing it. The Storyteller carefully takes your find. Yes, you're right. Another piece of evidence from the past I have forgotten. The old elf's expression becomes withdrawn. The Storyteller clenches the pages you brought. His voice becomes a bit younger and more energetic. It's been 2 years since I started to serve the darkness. She found me in the Ivory Labyrinth, her gaze piercing through all of my protective spells, as if they had been cast by an untrained apprentice, rather than the last Archmage of Keonan. She is powerful and insidious. She is the perfect assassin. Her name is Nocticula. She invited me to Alushanira, the city of demons in the depths of the abyss, the capital of the Midnight Isles. The Lady in Shadow highly values my ability to remain unnoticed. Kneeling before her throne, I listened to her praise and felt like a child, being given a pat on the head for doing some simple chore for the first time. But this is no longer important. Now I serve a demon lord, for this is our agreement. She will help me decrypt the scribbles I copied in the Ivory Labyrinth. In return, I will serve as her court mage and spy for the next 17 years. Now Alushanira is my home, and Nocticula is my lady in shadows. So you stayed in Alushanira for 2 decades. What was that like? Of all the places in the abyss, Alushanira is the most civilized. My lady wants to make her capital the face of the abyss, a place travelers from other planes can visit without too much fear. I don't care. I'm here only to complete my service, get the promised reward, and return to Galarion. However, strange as it may be, Alushanira's demons treat me honorably. They hate me, sometimes growl at me, but they never attack. I prepared many spells and am ready to use them at any moment, but I've had no reason to, yet. I have my own tower in the upper city, not far from my lady's palace. I've strengthened it with protective spells and set golems to guard it. I created a portal to Golarion at the top of the tower, one which only I can use. It will be my escape route if I need to flee urgently. I expect an attack every day, but it never happens. This might sound ridiculous and surprising, but I think the demons of Elutionera respect me. So you, really brokered a deal with a demon lord? What made you think she would hold up her side of the bargain? My lady in shadows has no reason to hide the truth from me. She does not care about my research. She offered me help out of curiosity. I am something of a bizarre pet to her, both funny and useful. The storyteller shakes his head. She offered me help, and I agreed. I must thank my lady for her generosity. 17 years of service for translating 17 phrases from Baphomet's Labyrinth. A bargain. All right, man, if you say so. What happened next? The storyteller stays silent for a short while, as if listening to something. I can't smell anything but sewage. I can hear some demon snores or death rattles. Hidden by a cocoon of spells, I keep invisible watch in a dirty alley in Elutionera's lower city. 2 winged shadows sweep past overhead, and a terrible stone-splitting shriek rolls like a tide through the streets. But it can't hurt me. I know the ways of this city and have protected myself from Alexia's wild antics. My voluntary partner, a young half-elf named Kaini, sighs loudly and says yet again, "They are not coming." I shrug just as I have done every time before. "I'm not keeping you." Kaini frowns and turns away in response. I sneak a look at my friend. His unruly locks fall over his face. Kaini carelessly sweeps them out of his eyes, thinking about something. I find myself enjoying his gentle movements and look away, embarrassed. Have a little more patience, my friend. Soon our goal will be here. I am sure of it. You mentioned, Valexia? Who's that? The storyteller answers with reluctant admiration. The maddest succubus of all those born in the abyss. Even my lady in shadow can't but smile upon hearing of the latest mayhem she stirred up, just for fun. Surrounded by her 3 succubi friends known as the Sinners, she flies naked over the city, crushing buildings with her raging screams, grabbing poor passers-by, taking them up in the air and dashing them down against the rocks, getting into raging fights with no rhyme or reason. Truly, Valexia is the bane of Elutionera, but also its wild heart. And, what about Kaini? You never really struck me as the sort to settle down. What's up with that? The storyteller's face lights up, and a timid smile appears on his lips. I didn't expect it either. Kaini is from Golarion, just as I am. He is a thief and a former slave. He escaped from the Cyclops of the dying Empire. I met him before I left Golarion for the Abyss in my old tower. A thief who sought not my life, but shelter, a place to spend the night, and protection from his former masters. My charms worked. Kaini couldn't get past the ground floor of the tower. That's where I found him, sitting on the floor, entangled in my trap's living vines. I freed the hapless thief. I wasn't angry at his intrusions. I was even glad to talk with this restless youth of the short-lived folk. I had no idea how much I had missed companionship. After that, Kaini often spent the night in my tower, partaking of my hospitality. Together we lived through the terror of Earthfall. And when the time came, I took him with me to the Abyss. Recently, he has even helped me carry out some of the lady's tasks, those that give him the opportunity to make some money. And, does he know what you're really trying to do? Oh, yes, we've discussed my plans many times. sitting at the top of the tower nursing goblets of warmed wine. Kaini shares my love for our dear Golarion, and supports my desire to save its doomed civilizations. The storyteller smiles warmly at the rush of memories. My friend is not like me at all. He is young, hot-tempered, and mischievous. He prefers to act first and deal with the consequences later. Perhaps this is why we get along so well. Opposites attract. Right. So, please, go on. Finally, my patience is rewarded. I see a slouching demon in rags, so pathetic that even the demon guards of Alushanira would not lay a hand on him out of disgust. But my spell-enhanced vision can't be fooled. I see the incubus Zyphorian, the ruler of Alushanira, who answers only to the Lady in Shadow herself. Passing a step away from me, Zyphorian stumbles and falls into a puddle of sewage, rousing disdainful chuckles from the few witnesses. But I won't be fooled by this game. Instead, I concentrate, becoming even more focused. My lord, I've discovered this crystal of unknown power in one of the Midnight Isles. Have a look. A hand holding a heart-sized crystal burning with purple flames emerges from under the rags. The incubus's hand is shaking, the skin on his palm slightly smoldering from touching the crystal. The demon's reflection in the puddle of sewage ripples and changes. I don't hear Zyphorian talking to his mysterious lord. The incubus hides the purple crystal back under the rags. As you wish, my lord. No, Nocticula knows nothing about these crystals, I am sure. Of course, Lord Sakothbanath. Really? I wince. I have no desire to stand in the way of a demon lord. So Sox is involved in all this. I guess that does make sense. There must be some method to his madness, and he's clearly taken an interest in us for some reason. This might be a pretty good clue as to why. I turn around. You see, Kaini, we were able to get evidence of Zyphorian's treason. I was right. But my friend is nowhere to be seen. Right, hey, what can you tell me about this, Sakothbanath, you said? The storyteller cringes. A disgusting demon lord, champion of meanness, debauchery, perversions, and breaker of taboos. He is Nocticula's brother and former lover. Out of jealousy, he tried in vain to kill my lady. But he remained alive after the attempt. He is driven by fear, shame, and hatred towards his powerful sister. Yeah, that sounds about right, I guess. I'm standing at the top of my tower. There is a goblet of warmed wine in my hand. Nocticula is pleased with my raid. Oh no, she won't kill Zyphorian on the spot. My lady's punishments are much more sophisticated. Banishing, demotion, even transformation into the pathetic creature the incubus was masquerading as. Nocticula has a lot of choices. I don't care. I've done my part. I sip from my goblet and turn to my friend. Without saying a word, Kaini takes out a rag from under his shirt and shows me the purple crystal wrapped in it. I chuckle. That's where my friend went at the end of the raid. Well, we are going to keep the crystal. I will study its properties in detail and find out if it will help us achieve our goal. Nocticula doesn't have to know that I have the crystal now. Let her look to Zyphorian or her demon lord brother for it. I drink from the goblet again and look down. Alushanira lies at the bottom of the tower, like a faithful dog at the feet of its master. I earned respect here. Even the Lady in Shadows heeds my words. I feel a treacherous smile appear on my lips. Of course, when 17 years have passed, I will return to Golarion. But for now, I like my life here. The storyteller is quiet for a long while, thinking about what he saw. then runs his hands over his face, tired. I served a demon lord, and what's more, I liked it. I did not expect this from myself. I was completely different. Different thoughts, desires, motives. What made me change so much? I don't know. The storyteller shakes his head ruefully. Well, that is very intriguing, because not only does it give us a general idea of where the crystal might have come from, apparently Aleutian era, in the Abyss, but it also indicates that the storyteller is just as involved in this as several of the other key players. He got his hands on one of those crystals, which was otherwise destined for Sakatpanath or Nocticula, and that's why we found traces of it at his tower, where we fought the dragon. But yeah, it does seem like everything is tracing back to the Abyss. Obviously the world wound itself, but also now the crystals, the source of our powers, whatever may have caused the curse or condition on the storyteller. Very intriguing. Anyway, that hits our quota for dialogue events today. So let's head out to the world map. We'll round things out with a bit of old-fashioned adventuring and some crusade events and such. Try to clear out some of that territory immediately surrounding the Ivory Sanctum. Adventure awaits. Hold on, our party's all messed up. Let me fix that real quick. There we go. Alright, so let's see here. We've got Crimson Dust, the remains of a disgusting feast, the core of the riddle, makeshift lab, legacy of the ancients, heart of mystery, and we've already done the mines, befouled barrows, the burned down shack, the knapsack on a tree, and our teleporter's down for the moment, so we can't just pop out right into the middle of it yet. But, as usual, that's fine. We want to advance the clock to continue cycling events. So I figure we'll just find the shortest route to get ourselves out into unexplored territory here. Yeah, that works. We can head down that path and double back towards Crimson Dust. And then, of course, as new days turn over, we'll jump over to our legions, which at the moment are awaiting reinforcements. There we go. And there we go. Shy Shankers head south of Gloomy Gorge. And Agaboya's assassins will start circling around, filling out paths, and eventually making their way to a few undefeated armies. There's our diplomacy event. So that will be waiting for us next time we head back to Dresden. And there's our Royal Conscription. That's the basic recruiting event. We can't actually run it right now because we already have a leadership event running. Ooh, let's do the Altar of the First Retriever. I believe that gives us a dex boosting item. And back to the party. Oh, okay. I guess we're doing this. Oh, this is nothing. Though to be fair, we are still pretty close to Dresden. It's just not the same without Vex.
I will resist.
That's the votaries.
Cover me, all right?
Ow. That is mildly inconvenient.
Die already.
For me.
Nice. Oh, shoot. You know what? I was basically just ignoring that thing because it's such a low-level threat, but,
Retreat is not an option.
I forget how vulnerable Ember is. Alright, let's get that patched. There we go. Good as new. I mean, not much of a fight, but they did land some nasty hits. I should have played it more defensively with Ember. But we did also start surrounded, so I guess no matter where I put her, she would have been in harm's way. Let's tuck her back towards the center of the party. And onward, my friends. That's fine. New recruits. I'll deal with that off screen. Oof, yeah, still not crazy about that one. That's pretty much guaranteed casualties. But these seem slightly more reasonable. Okay, and let's get some rest. We'll also switch off to that recipe that lets us march longer. There we go. Cheese crostata. Plus 6 hours before we get fatigued. Not much, but every little bit helps.
You're always harping on about how everything's terrible and the suffering's only just started and all that. So why are you always smiling? I don't want my suffering to start. I'd actually prefer it if I suffered as little as possible, thanks very much.
But what you want and how things are, they're two different things, right? Let's not wish for anything and just enjoy what we have now.
Huh. Yeah, I don't really see Walchif going for that, but nice effort. And now, we start scouting in earnest. Into the unknown. Ooh, rank 10 fortress. Okay. And fight. Alright, Wrath, what have you got for me this time? Oh, Drachni. This could... Oh, I really thought it would open with confusion. But, I mean, don't get me wrong. Getting hit with level drain is rough, but it is a lot more surmountable than having half our party locked down. Ow. Let's nuke the Drachni.
Stab you or zap you. Why not both?
Very nice. Level drain neutralized. Dispel. Babow. Babow down. And that's the giant. Lovely. The level drain was a bit rough, but that hit us before we could really do much of anything, so we'll just chalk that up to random chance. Not much for loot, but this does get us the slightest smidgen closer to level 14. Yeah, we can take these guys. Fireball. Oh, shoot. And we're good. Okay, thank goodness. Yeah, that could have gone bad quick. I thought we'd take down the drakes easier. But even a small number of them can do massive damage across your entire formation with their breath attacks. Nice. And we've got this. Huzzah! The Crusaders discovered the secret lair of the cultists who fed the meat of the prisoners to a pack of evil drakes. The brood of monsters is destroyed. Their eggs, covered with rot and mold, are broken. Which is another nice boost to our daily finances. If only it were that easy in real life. Onward, my friends. Yeah, and we'll definitely avoid those guys for now. This one's easy. Moving up. Very nice. And the tides have turned. The Crusaders see a tiny but magnificent mountain lake, filled with clear, cold water. Even demons couldn't disturb its peace and were chased away by powerful water elementals. This remote site is obviously the source of water power, blessed by spirits of the plane of water. You mean the ones we just killed? Well, I'm sure that's fine. Hey, level up. And once again, I think there's really not much contest here. I feel like Protective Wards just gives us the most bang for our buck. Magic Instructor would really only impact our sorcerers, and we've only got 20 of those guys. And Magic Reserves is just too trivial in the grand scheme of things. That's not even enough for a single fireball. +3 on all saves is just too good to pass up. Petrified Traveler. Alright, so once our movement points reset, we can start circling around, hit this army next, and then start heading south. These are, of course, tougher armies, but I think we can start chipping them, maybe after another round of reinforcements or two. And we've got this level 10 fort over here. That's actually not that bad. Alright, we're almost out of time. Let's hit Crimson Dust real quick. Even the withered grass of the World Wound doesn't grow here. The heat bleached the rocks and made the dead trees shrivel. The only moisture to quench the thirst of this wasteland is the blood of mortals, as indicated by the scattered bones and scraps of rotting flesh. It is more than plentiful here. Delightful. That sounds like just the sort of place we want to be. And you know the drill. Let's hit the pause button real quick. I'll get up a full battery of buffs, and we'll check this thing out. We'll be right back. And we're good to go. Alright, murder hobos. Time for some murdering. Oh, looks like someone beat us to it. Well, I guess we're not needed here. Obviously, we are going to check that out. I just want to make sure we don't overlook any nooks or crannies here. Skinned Leather Cloak. Whenever the wearer lands a hit on an enemy for the first time in a round, they must pass a Fortitude save or be partially skinned. which causes stagger and 2 points of con drain per round for 1d4 rounds. Very nice. I mean, obviously you'd have to give up the easy save bonus from a Cloak of Resistance, but this is a great offensive item. In fact, I think we've... Yeah, I think we've got one on Kaz already. So maybe I'll pair that with Vex, and then we can have some double skinning action. You know, just to make it even more of a nightmare to face them in melee. Just gotta watch those pesky mind effects. You're not demons. I'm saved. Help me. Have mercy. I can't walk. Oh, sure, yeah. Okay. Oh no, it's a Titan. What will I do? Stab it, I guess. Sinful Sinew. Goes pretty quick, too. Hopefully Kaz can tank it. Nice, nice. Oof. Plus 38 to hit. This guy's no slouch, but thankfully Kaz is even more of a beast. .34 AC.
I didn't know I had it in me.
Slight crit storm. That helps. And just to make sure everyone's topped. Ooh, good thing, too. That thing just wailed on Helper. Oh, it's undead. Okay. Run away. Seize skin. Oh, wow. Permanent con drain. Yeah, we'll have to get that patched. Sorry, helpful. $21,000 experience points. So, well worth the detour. Even factoring in the diamond dust.
Missed me already.
And once again, good as new. Let's see what else that gets us. Ooh, here we go. Blazing Parfait. Sounds tasty. Saving the big guy for last. Chain Shirt of Life Vim. A +4 chain shirt, which grants an additional +4 profane bonus versus attacks of non-living creatures. So, constructs and undead, like our friend here. Interesting. I mean, a +4 chain shirt's not terrible for characters using light armor. And that extra +4, although extremely situational, is obviously very useful. I'll have to see if I can fit that in somewhere. And an amulet of natural armor +3. Not the most exciting find, but certainly useful. And to be fair, between the cloak and the chain shirt, we're not exactly hurting on loot for this encounter. Especially not after that 21,000 experience points. Which is pretty bonkers. That was a nice short one. Which, I think, brings us to a pretty good stopping point. We had a couple of story-driven dialogue encounters. We had some crusading. And then we had several fights, including this one, which cleared an optional location. So I feel like that's a pretty good mix. That said, we will hit the pause button for now. I'll take stock of where we stand, tend to those reinforcements that just popped up, and chart out the next leg of our expedition. We will not be hitting Ivory Sanctum this outing, but there's no shortage of other locations for us to clear out here. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website. And if you'd like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things, or maybe even check out the Patreon, the YouTube memberships, or the new Nexus GG page. Links are in the description.
I'd actually prefer it if I suffered as little as possible, thanks very much.